Good evening. Welcome back to Community Crossfire. I have a special guest on tonight. She really needs no introduction. She knows everybody, but I'm going to allow her to introduce herself and give us so many of her titles.
Hi, I'm Zanthia Oliver, council member. Hi, I'm Tina Betz, Director of Cultural Affairs for Mayor Carney's office. And it's good to be here with you again, Zanthia. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you. So, Ms. Betz, we're going to go over a couple of some of your events that you have so many of them this summer, starting with the steel band. Could you explain a little bit about that?
Well, we were approached by a steel band orchestra, and they wanted to start an annual steel band jamboree or festival. So we thought it was a wonderful fit for what we do over at the Urban Artists Exchange. And the date that we'll be doing it for this kickoff year is May the 3rd. That's a Saturday, and it will begin at noon and go all the way until about 9:30 or so. And there'll be about 150 to 160 school students performing at this festival. And they come from various areas of the state. Mostly Newcastle County, but also outside of Newcastle County. Then a couple of bands coming from Pennsylvania. So it should be fantastic.
I remember that. It was nice to see all them kids.
Yeah.
Very interesting. How about next we're going to talk about the Clifford Brown Jazz Festival, International Jazz Day Award.
The International Jazz Day Awards. This year we're going to be doing that actually on May 1st because we just couldn't get what we needed to happen on the 30th of April. April is Jazz Appreciation Month. Mm-hmm. So we usually do it on the 30th of April because that's International Jazz Day.
Okay.
So this year at the Queen, we'll be having school kids come in during the day. Mm-hmm. Jazz Reach is an organization out of New York. It's a music educational organization that we've worked with a couple of times over the years. And so we'll be bringing in about 700 or so school kids into the Queen to engage with Jazz Reach. And everybody should look them up. Jazz Reach out of New York. They're a great organization doing really, really good work. And then in the evening, we will have a open to the public concert with the quintet that is part of the ensembles that play for the kids during the day. And the programming during the day and the one in the evening also has film.
Wow.
So there's projection and then there's live music. And for the kids, it's very interactive.
I like that. It looked nice, as usual.
Thank you.
I like that. Let's talk a little bit about we're going to talk about the Boise. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay, before we move on, I do want to say that we are open for the International Jazz Day Awards. We are taking nominations for that.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, if folks can go online to cityfestwilm.com, and there's also a QR code. I don't know if you can get close enough to that for people to scan it. But go on and nominate your, organization, a person. There are several categories to nominate in. So yeah, that's those Jazz Day Awards nominations. The Boise Lowry Living Jazz Residency. We've been doing that since 2015.
Okay.
And we've had dozens of kids come through the program. I say kids, they're young people.
Right.
And so 2 weeks in Wilmington.
Wow.
The only thing they have to do is pay to get here and then pay to go home. And they come, get together. It's very intense 2 weeks. They work extremely hard. We divide the kids up into various ensembles, at least 3 ensembles. And they compose music. And then the music that each of them compose, the ensemble performs. And we've been using those ensembles as openers for the Jazz Festival.
That's really nice. So the ones I've been seeing on the stage for the openings have been coming through. When I heard a lot about that program, I said that's really interesting. It gives the youth a chance to be on a live stage and open act like this. That's really nice.
Yeah.
But since 2015.
2015.
Wow.
Jonathan Whitney and I have been working together on that particular residency, and it has grown. And we've actually followed some of the graduates.
Really?
We've seen, gone to New York and seen them. They've come here and performed for some of the other things that we've done here in the city. So it's really good to follow their careers. Many of them are just blossoming and making a lot of good music out there and being recognized for it.
Really, really interesting. Good for you. Team, you do a lot of good work. Let's talk a little bit about the Jazz Festival.
The Jazz Festival this year is June 18th through the 21st, and I don't know what those dates are on there, so don't show that.
Oh,
no, there. Okay, the Jazz.
June 18th through the 21st.
The Boise Lowry residency is June 8th through the 22nd, which is why they're here to play the Jazz Festival, June 18th through the 21st.
Okay.
So that's 4 days. And what we are going to ask people to do is to go to cityfestwilm.com. Make sure you get sign in for our email, and you'll get all the updates. And as we roll out the artists, you'll be the first to know if you are on our email list.
So repeat that. If they're on your email list, you will send out the information.
They'll be the first to know.
Who's going to be who's the lineup. And what's the email address?
They have to go into cityfestwilm.com, and there's an opportunity to sign up for to get on the email list.
That's really nice. Yeah, so everybody will keep calling around who's there. Get on the email list and find out who's going to be at the Jazz Festival.
And it's going to be a good one. As a matter of fact, we've nailed down, I think, our final commitment just this afternoon. Wow. So as soon as all the contracts are signed, then we'll start rolling out the names.
I'm excited. I love that Jazz Festival. Okay, next you have the artworks. I'm very familiar with that program.
Yeah, you've been a regular supporter of that, Zanthia. Thank you very much. And of course, it's in your district.
Yes.
We hold it over at the Urban Artists Exchange. We had our first year of this youth apprenticeship program back in 2020 during the height of COVID. But we were able to work around that. We had a much smaller group. Everybody was masked, and we had air filters and all of that going, but we decided, we really wanted to do it. The stables were just being renovated.
I remember.
Yeah, so now the stables are, of course, fully renovated. As a matter of fact, there is construction going on right now where we're putting in air conditioning and heat. I remember the few times you've been there, it's been pretty hot.
Right.
So hopefully the air conditioning is working the next time you come. But this is a really important program, the Arts Work Youth Apprenticeship Program. And we do it in partnership with the city's Parks and Recreation Department, their career development program. It's a paid apprenticeship.
Okay.
The kids come in, we usually have about 20 to 22, around that number. They get paid to make art, to work with master professional teaching artists and all the different artistic disciplines, ceramics, textiles, painting. And then at the end of the 6-week program, it's 6 weeks, 5 days a week, for 6 weeks, they sell the art that they've created during the program.
And I remember coming to the final, I saw them in action, but they really were very creative.
Oh, yeah. They are. And you don't have to be an artist to be a part. You just have to feel that, that making art and learning more about the process of making it is, will be something that you would enjoy doing for 6 weeks, 5 days a week. There are also field trips that the kids take to museums, the University of Delaware Art Department, and places like that. And it's also a way to learn discipline, to work as a team on some of the projects. They've created murals. They created a couple of murals as a team over there. So
very nice.
Yeah, we help them develop resumes and
And that's what one of the things I was going to say. To me, when I observed the whole group, it was a lot of teamwork. Yeah. And I was like, these are life lessons here.
That's exactly right.
Just everybody was talking and coming out, helping each other, and you okay. So I think that's an excellent program.
It is an excellent program. And I'm
impressed with that program.
Thank you. And the City of Wilmington, Delaware Division of the Arts, the state grant and aid are all contributors to, and City Fest for all of these programs. When folks contribute to City Fest, our nonprofit, these are the types of programs, the donations of support.
If somebody wants to contribute to City Fest, how do they contribute? What is the email?
If you go to, again, cityfestwilm.com, there's an opportunity to donate, or you can send a check to City Fest, my attention, Tina Betz, to the Reading City County Building, the mayor's office, 800 North Front Street, 19801.
Well, I think y'all heard that, but if you want to donate to City Fest, send a check to 800 French Street.
North French Street,
the mayor's office, or you'll see the email on the screen for City Fest.
Yeah.
I think these are all great. What about the last one here, Urban Exchange?
Yeah, we have
Community partners.
yeah, we have a lot of community partners that we work with. For example, we'll be starting our concert series over the UAE on May 7th. We're going to do a big unveiling. You will be invited, and all the other city council members and some of our funders will be there. And we'll be unveiling the new HVAC system. And we also are converting one of the stables into an arts exhibition space, a gallery. We're calling it the Main Gallery, MANE, because they were old horse stables and horses have manes.
Oh,
Nobody's going to get that, but that's
neat.
Okay. We're going to explain that all the time.
Right.
But that's okay. Yeah, so we're going to start our series. And as you know, it's every Wednesday night that we have this concert series, and it's a Urban Artists Exchange concert series, or the UAE concert series, along with 10 weeks of integrated Levitt AMP concert series concerts. So yeah, we do a lot.
So that's on Wednesday. The artworks will be on Tuesdays. No, you're down. I mean, I'm talking about down the stables is every Wednesdays.
Every Wednesday
concerts.
every Wednesday evening, and then we have some special events. But to learn everything about what we're doing as we're rolling them out, especially cityfestwilm.com is a lot of information there, opportunities, as we said, to sign up for the email list so you can be kept up to date with our newsletter.
I like that.
Yeah. So
how many people did you have last year? It was so crowded at Rodney Square. My God, we couldn't even find nowhere to sit. I mean, it was like this.
Yeah, it was difficult to count last year. We usually say that we have an average over the years of 7,000 to 8,000 people a night. Wow. Last year, we really, it was many more than that. It was many more than that.
I mean, I was up there. We were just like this. I mean, but everybody was enjoying themselves.
Everybody was very happy.
Everybody was very happy.
And I don't want to jinx it, but we have had such wonderful people who come out. The weather, it is what it is.
Right. It doesn't matter.
No, you just do what you do.
Yeah, if it rains, people just have the umbrellas in their rain jacket. And I like the way you say, look, and they know when it's no rain date, this is it.
Yeah, if it's not dangerous, if we have high winds or lightning and thunder, then we have to do something else. But, so we always just, look up and go, please.
Wow.
Yeah. So
how many years have you been with the city? Roughly.
Well, I started in the Frawley administration back in the late 80s. And then I left after the Frawley administration for 8 years, and then came back and worked for Baker. And then at the end of his 3 terms, I left for 4 years and then came back and worked for Pizicki. And I think my husband one day added it all up. So it's when you cobble it all together, I think it's been about 30 years or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've done an amazing job.
Well, I've had a really good team, lots and lots of support.
Yeah, because this is not easy work.
No, it's not easy work. We try not to look stressed.
Yeah.
as we're doing it, we don't want to bring anybody down.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it
has to be rewarding.
It is very rewarding, and I know I talk a lot about the Urban Artists Exchange, and I know that that's been a real passion and a work of love that we started, with the vision more than 15 years ago now.
And look at it. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about your art loop? How does that work?
Well, that's a really good question. And I think, I know how it works, of course. I think that there are some people in the community who probably have a difficult time knowing how it works. What we decided to do, as a matter of fact, I just had this conversation with my team before I came here. We're going to do a town hall, a webinar online where we will talk about the art loop. But very generally, the art loop has been in place for like 38 years. It started about the same year as the Jazz Festival, as what was Jazz on the Square, and then became the Clifford Brown Jazz Festival started. And it was an opportunity for us to do a couple of things. The goal was a couple of things: to give an opportunity to visual artists to exhibit their art in both traditional places like the Delaware Art Museum or the Contemporary Art Museum, or places that are traditional, and non-traditional places, restaurants, garages, storefronts, and places like that. small galleries, that we have a number of them now. So when we first started it many years ago, we did all of our marketing in-house. And then over the years, that has transitioned into various ways of getting the word out. At one point, the city was working with Delaware Today.
Okay.
And when I came back for the Baker administration, what I was finding is that didn't work for a lot of galleries, not because Delaware Today is not a good magazine, it absolutely is, but a lot of the galleries and the artists couldn't meet the deadlines that we had to set to get the information to Delaware Today so that they would, meet their publishing dates.
Okay.
So we moved from Delaware Today and brought all of our marketing in-house. And I'd like to give a shout out to Jenny Barton, who moved to Cincinnati because we worked on our in-house brochure. I still have copies of that, which I absolutely love. But we worked on that, and that's how we marketed the Art Loop. We had all of the galleries listed with all of the images and that sort of thing. So then when Jenny left, it was like, oh my gosh, what do we do? So we formed a partnership with Out and About magazine.
Okay.
And Out and About magazine collects all of the information.
Okay.
Keeps the Art Loop website up to date.
Okay.
And also publishes in their monthly magazine the list of galleries that are participating.
Okay.
And then they collect a fee depending on the size of the gallery. It's like $35 a month, I think, is the average of the fee. And that all goes to Out and About magazine. So, as all of this time, we've been thinking, how can we make this better, more convenient for the people who want to come, for the galleries who want to exhibit. And so when the other thing that the Office of Cultural Affairs did during the Baker administration is we went to Parks and Recreation and said, we'd like to supply a courtesy shuttle that will take, some of the Art Loop goers around to various galleries. And they were very, very happy to do it. So they provide that courtesy to us every month at no charge to any of the galleries. What we try to do, because we have two shuttles, and most of the time we have an average of about 20 or so galleries on the loop. So there are two ways that we handle using the shuttles.
Okay.
One way is we do a couple of featured galleries every month.
Okay.
And what we try to do is we try to move that around from gallery to gallery. Or if a gallery is having a special celebration or, a special exhibit, then, we use them as a target to be one of our featured galleries.
Okay.
Now, the exceptions, and I'm going to call them exceptions because the Reading Gallery, the Mezzanine Gallery are always on the Art Loop.
Right.
And
that's where it started.
Yeah. Well, it's, the Reading Gallery is our gallery.
Right.
It's the Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs. We curate that.
Okay.
And then the Mezzanine Gallery, which is right next door in the State Building. So that's just a walk up. The other galleries, as I said, for featured galleries, we move them around. All galleries are listed.
Okay.
It's just for the featured galleries, we ask our shuttles to make an attempt to stop at our featured galleries, which is 3, maybe 4 every month.
Okay.
Okay. So, that's kind of basically it. We, as I said, look for special things, celebrations, anniversaries, special artists, an exhibit that is just, something that people are talking about, but we do move it around for our featured galleries.
Now, I know y'all had something last week. Is that all month or is it just that one day?
For
the Art Loop.
Okay, the Art Loop is the first Friday of every month. That's the official Art Loop.
Right.
Now, galleries,
Now, will you have the shuttle every Friday, or it's just
every first Friday of the month?
You have
we have a shuttle, right? I wanted to also say that in addition to the featured galleries, the Art Loop goers who ride the shuttles also are able to, in addition to the featured galleries, decide we'd like to see this exhibit or this artist. And so, they will also try to include that on the route. But there are only 2 shuttles, and we try to hit as many galleries as we can. It's not going to be every gallery every month, and it's not going to be the same galleries every month, except for the Ready Building and the Mezzanine.
That makes sense. I just think it's nice that y'all even have a bus. Because, I know I go some places, and it's just up to you to get there.
Yeah. And
I know Philly, they have a lot of these art loops, but when I was up there a couple of years ago, something similar to it. But I just rode with my friend to two different places, the places
Right.
she liked to go. But I didn't even think about asking by the bus, but she did. I said, they don't. She said, no. She said, they don't do anything. No, they don't do a shuttle.
I mean, Wilmington is
Very unique.
It is unique, and we're a compact community.
Right.
So we really try to be as supportive as we can be. I mean, and there's a limit, you know what I mean? But as supportive as we can be for all of the programmings that we do. I know I've gone to the Philly Art Loop a number of times over the years, and it's, it's all over the place. You have to find parking.
Yeah.
Then if you can't find parking, then you're going to walk forever, or so
and that's why we just went to the two. She was like, "Oh, it's nowhere to park at this other one,"
Yeah.
But it was good. It was a nice sort of.
Yeah. Oh no, I love the Philadelphia Art Loop, but I love ours.
Yeah,
even
I love
more.
ours better.
Yeah, but we are going to do a webinar.
Oh.
And the purpose of the webinar is to help people understand, sort of how it works.
Okay.
And also, we know that there are some spaces out there who would like to be on the Art Loop. And we want to tell them how to do that. And also, if folks need help connecting with artists, with visual artists,
that's nice.
we would like to connect folks up. So, we'll be doing that for the Art Loop and a couple of other of our programs.
That's really good. Tina, is anything you'd like to say in closing?
Look to see everybody out and about. Make sure you come to our Still Band Jamboree on May 3rd, all day long, a bunch of kids, and then we're going to have a closer, a guest artist who will close that.
I'll be there.
But lots and lots of stuff. Put in your nominations for the Clifford Brown Jazz Awards.
I have two right now.
Please do that.
Has Gerald ever received that?
Yes,
Okay.
he has. He has.
Because he really deserved it.
He certainly does, but don't hesitate to put his name in. So,
okay.
you can
so
put
he
in
can
whoever
win
you
it
want.
again. I mean,
Right.
he can get. He's able. If someone wins it, are they able to get selected again? Anything's possible.
Maybe in a different category. Sure.
Oh, gotcha. I need
Absolutely.
to look on the categories.
And one thing I forgot to mention with the Jazz Reach group that's coming down for the kids, and then their evening performance at the Queen, the Light Up the Queen Foundation is supporting that with a grant this year. So to get the kids there. Yeah.
I will be there.
That's on May 1st.
I will be there.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate everything you're doing. You keep up the good work.
Thank you, Zanthia.
I will be there May the 3rd. I'll be at the Jazz Festival. I will be attending all of these events, and hopefully, people say it's nothing going on in Wilmington. It's a lot going on.
Too
Get
much
the out and
sometimes.
about in the book. And you go to half of this stuff, you'll be tired.
Exactly.
Thanks again.
You're very
We'll be
welcome.
back
Thank
with
you.
Community Crossfire. This is really nice.
Thanks, Zanthia.
Got to pay back. Revenge. Revenge.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us on Community Crossfire. My name is Tonya Richardson. I'm the Deputy Director of Operations at Kingswood Community Center. Thanks for being here. And thank you to Norman Oliver and Councilwoman of the 3rd District, Zanthia Oliver, who has donated this time for me and my colleagues to reintroduce ourselves to some, introduce ourselves to others, but mostly just say hello and check in with our neighbors around the city who are already so familiar with the work of Kingswood Community Center. I have the blessing to be able to work with some amazing professionals at the work group. Among them, of course, many of you know Logan Herring, our CEO, Kenyatta McCurdy-Bird, who is our COO, and my Director of Operations, who is Julie Bieber. But I also work with a gaggle of community people who are so committed to the day-to-day work of this center that has been around since 1942. And we are about to celebrate our 80th anniversary next year. Among the folks with me today to talk about Kingswood and the growth that we are about to embark on are our board president, Ray Rhodes, who is also the director of community engagement and the STEM hub at Eastside Charter. I also have Adrienne Davis, who's the head of school at the Kingswood Early Learning Academy. I have with me Josie Haile, who is a longtime staff member at Kingswood Community Center and now serves as the program manager of the Empower program. And not with us is the other leader of the center, Celeste Enzor, who's the program manager for the Jimmy Johnson Senior Center. One of the reasons we're here today is because a lot of our neighbors have heard that big things are happening at Kingswood. And I wanted to give us an opportunity to let people know kind of some of the details of the things that we do there that we're so excited about and what our growth is going to look like over the next year or two. So let's start with you, Ray. You have a personal relationship with Riverside. You have a personal relationship with the entire city, it seems. Yeah. Tell us about your relationship with Kingswood, how it started, and your definition of the growth that's coming.
Yeah, thank you, Tonya, for having us, to Norman Oliver and Councilwoman Oliver as well. I grew up in the Riverside community, and as a 4-year-old, my sister and I were in the building when Dr. King was assassinated. So I remember all the administrators, the leaders there. They kind of were like a refuge for us. They told us what was going on. They shielded us from all the negative, the hate that was going on, and showed us that the only way we can overcome all that was going on was love. Riverside was an indigenous community where people knew each other, our neighbors knew each other. And through the years, a lot of negative things started being associated with Riverside, but it was always like home to me. So back in 2017, Logan Herring and Dave Ford approached me and asked me what I consider being on the board. And then I was able to reflect back to my early childhood and how Kingswood was such a refuge. And I thought it not robbery to say, absolutely, I will give back my time, my treasure and talent to give to that organization that meant so much to me. And at that time, we became a purpose-built community, and Kingswood became what they called the quarterback to lead the other two organizations, which was Reach Riverside and then ultimately the Team Warehouse. And with Kingswood's illustrious history, you talk about 80 years old, approaching 80 years old. Kingswood had impacted so many. We have leaders now that talk about their early time in Kingswood, Hanifa Shabazz and others that talk about their impact. And you could go down the roles to talk about how Kingswood has impacted, whether it's a politician, entertainer, musician, Kingswood has helped them. So as a purpose-built community, we looked at how can we change the face of the community. And then, of course, it started with the housing. I remember living in 2400 Claymont Street. We didn't have central air. We didn't have a washer and dryer in our unit. We had to hang our clothes on the back yard and hope that they didn't get taken. So we had to scrub our clothes in the bathtub. So now Imani Village is introduced, and we are going to have over 600 new units where families get to experience central air, they get to experience space, they get to experience storage, washer and dryers in their unit. And as the community started growing, we started developing this plan. We thought about how about a new Kingswood? This center has meant so much to so many. How about a new Kingswood, and not being distracted by the cost, not being distracted by what was going on during the time. We set forth under the great leadership of Logan Herring and others to say, this is what we want to do. We want to expand our preschool. We want to have more space for seniors. And we want to get vital partners in there to provide these services that we know are so critical to our community. So the ideal came about, and right now we've started construction. Our elevator pits are up, the foundations are in,
Yes.
the weather's changing, so you're going to see more activity out
excited.
there. So this new space will again allow us to expand our early preschool, will allow us to expand our senior center. We have vital partners that are going to come in, and this new community, Imani Village, will be able to partake of these services as well as others in Newcastle County as well. So we're excited. We're talking about a $55 million structure. 77,000 square feet. It's going to be one of the structures, like I like to say, one of the most important facilities in Newcastle County, if not the state, in the last century.
Wow.
Because of the impact that it's going to have, and you just don't find these type of structures with this investment in communities like Riverside. So our purpose-built partners are proud of what we're doing. They use us now as a gauge to say this is the kind of success that we want to have with these other purpose-built. So excited about the things that are happening.
And this is why, you know, as you guys know,
Yes.
I'm the newest member of the team, but having partners like you, Ray, is so important because you are part of big things.
Yes.
And the way you just talk about our project shows how big it really is. When we talk about the project day to day, we're kind of on the more granular side of it, and we're talking about doubling the number of people we can serve over the next 2 years as we make this transition, doubling the space that we're going to take up in the community, and doubling the amount of people who will be able to join this initiative, either as a consumer of the services that we're trying to provide, but also our workforce is going to get bigger.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And there's so much room for all the voices of people who comprise our community to be in positions where they work for an organization that is committed to you as a employee, as well as someone who is enjoying the services. We have talked about the physical building. The elevator shafts are going up, and the best place to see that construction is from the Early Learning Academy's playground in the back of the building. It's kind of symbolic because it's like a vista that the young people get to see from beginning to end growth in their own backyards. The ELA, the Early Learning Academy, is where a lot of families come to the center to begin with. I'd like to give Adrienne a chance as our head of school to talk about the philosophies of the center and where you see us going as we grow.
Oh, where do we go? We're just amazing. I just love the way you laid that out. And the children going outside, they actually stand there and you can see them looking at the construction, see the excitement in their eyes. We are moving towards Montessori. Some may say, what is Montessori? Montessori is sort of a philosophy where the focal point is the children. Being able to see them grow and learn as we are learning. Our staff is currently taking classes, taking coursework so they can learn more about Montessori. But we are implementing it right currently in our classrooms. The children are able to move through each area on their own: language, math, practical life, sensorial. Those are the 4 major areas. And so the children go and learn at their level. So each child gets that individualized attention, as we all know each child needs.
Yeah. What's so amazing about that is that Montessori is not something you hear a lot about in our communities and brown communities and low and moderate income communities. The purpose-built model, we're one of 28 communities around the country who are a part of that network and that movement. And we believe that Montessori is the greatest partner educationally for little people, because we can deal with them on an individual basis. So that means even the children who are advanced and using language very proficiently can still be in the classroom with kids who are still maybe at grade level, at learning level, and even young people with learning disabilities or challenges, which could qualify as any of us probably. But the point being that Montessori is a modality that allows the teacher to be trained to know how to keep up and motivate and move the child. It's such a different classroom. The classroom looks different. The feel is different. The vibration is a little different, because it's not just about the student being able to repeat back what they've been told, which is how a lot of us learned. And we think that the Montessori model is kind of a symbol of how we're looking at the growth of the center across the board. There are lots of individuals with lots of different needs, and we're ready to address them.
Yes, and it's not teacher focused. Most classrooms are teacher focused. This is child centered. So we're able to focus on the child and their particular needs, and they move along and they get support from the teacher and from their peers, because now we're doing multiple ages in one group. So now we have 3, 4, and 5 years olds together. So then we have that peer mentoring, that support from one another, like we would want in our own community.
That's right. Like we want in our workplaces,
Yes.
like we want, in our halls of government.
Yes.
It's just kind of a way of thinking and an approach that we're really promoting throughout our business operation
Yes.
from where I sit, my short tenure so far. The other way that people come to us is through our Empower program. The Empower program is a wraparound service opportunity for those who qualify. And we even have services for folks who may not live in the community. They're more limited, but I would love to give Josie an opportunity to talk about who is the Empower team? What do they do? And could you give us an example of the types of things that they are helping people navigate?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you for having me, Ms. Tonya. The Empower program is made up of a pillar of 4 navigational coaches who are trained in and specialize in case management. We have 1 family service worker, and then we have 1 employment specialist. And what we do is we offer those wraparound services. We're made up of 4 pillars, which is financial literacy, health and wellness, family support, and economic independence. And we base it off of those 4 pillars. And we go out and, we take on a case or a client, and then we help them with whatever we can in helping them, just knock down some of the barriers that they have in their lives or their current situation, just to make them better, just to let them know that we're here for them, give them what they need to help them move along. Just because they're in low income doesn't mean anything. We prepare them from home ownership. We help them, obtain jobs. If they're unhappy in their situation, we help them. We literally hold their hand. And that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that whatever barrier that they have, we are able to help them break it. It could be a transportation issue. It can be, help with, social services. You'd be surprised how many people need help with just applying for simple benefits that they need to help their family. And so that's what we do in the empowerment program, is to help them knock down barriers to make them the best that they can be. And I'm excited to be the program manager now. I've been around for a long time, and I was working in administration. And so now I've always worked in the community, but now I'm being able to focus directly on what the community needs and the services that we provide. It's awesome.
I love it. And the Empower program, I think, is so powerful because of the level of expertise of the people who are working in the program with you. Those 5 navigators and our incoming workforce development navigator. They really have expertise.
Sure.
A few of them have degrees in social work.
Yep.
But the thing we talk about the most is how daunting it is to approach the systems where you can get services. Just applying for purchase of care, for example, which is the program that helps subsidize daycare. A family might be referred to you as they apply to Miss Adrienne's program because we all benefit from having someone who knows these systems,
and
understands the timelines, and sometimes, can intervene on our behalf when there's a fly in the ointment and there's a glitch in the process. We were saying in preparation for today's conversation that these systems are so complicated that sometimes all you can do is give up on trying. It's exhausting.
It is.
And if you consider that you could be applying for food assistance, housing assistance, childcare assistance, every once in a while you may need help with a bill, something like that. That's a revolving door that can wear a person down. So we're really proud that there's a safe space where folks can be have confidential and private but very expertise supports as they're doing these other things, living life. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No.
Life does not come with a rule book. And so, and you have to lean on the resources that are out here, including myself. You have to lean on the resources that are out here. And that's what it's about. It's building partnerships, creating strong partnerships with the ones that we already have the partnerships with, and just being that support for the community. A lot of times people think that, oh, I'm okay right now, or I don't have a problem right now, but we're just not for problems. We are here when times are good for you as well. They have we do resume writing. We can help with computer literacy. We can help, with an array of things.
Yes.
And I love to see the clients come in the door. Our doors are not closed. We're getting a new building for more space for our clients, but our door is open.
I love it. I have been involved in some initiatives here in Wilmington and around the country that really focus on what it is to be like a first generation.
Right.
If you're the first generation to do anything in your family, there are challenges that come with that. It's really the American way to be the first.
Right.
Sure.
And even today, lots of us are doing things for the first time. And I think the Empower program is about helping people break through a lot of firsts.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful blessing to be a part of that. And I'm really proud of the work that the team does. The other aspect of the work of Kingswood, as you all know, is the Jimmy Jenkins Senior Center.
Jimmy Jenkins.
The JJSC. The leader there is Celeste Enzor. And our center is really a pride for us there. The center was founded just a few years after Kingswood was founded, so it's been around for a long time too. And Celeste has grown the program into over 80 subscribing members.
Yes,
It's a
good for her.
thriving
It is.
space where they have a lot of fun, but they also practice their faith together. We have a Bible study there once a month or so. Of course, all the recreational things that an aging population might be interested in socially. But our big picture at the Senior Center is being able to age in place. This idea that as we all grow older, we do better when we're in our own home environments, where we're not put in positions to deal with the stresses of transitioning from one place to another, particularly in our housing. We provide transportation, and we really encourage, Celeste is really big on, you can be a member of a lot of senior centers. We're open at the Senior Center from Monday to Thursday, from the time we open until around 1-ish. We usually have lunch together, but it's a great place to have in the repertoire of places that we all occupy. And we're looking forward to a larger space there too. Our larger building is basically going to provide each of these initiatives their own building. I mean, when you think about it, connected but segregated spaces, beautiful outdoor spaces. And we look forward to that building giving us more opportunities to kind of mix all of the populations that are a part of the work group, part of Reach Riverside, from the cradle to the crane, we say. That includes us as a workforce. And we think that the future is really bright. We invite everyone to be a part of the growth that's at Reach Riverside, that's going on at Kingswood. We will have lots of opportunities for folks to tap in, to get reacquainted. I can't tell you how many times I meet people and they're like, oh, I grew up over there, but I haven't been over there.
Well,
And I'm
come
like,
back.
Well, now is the time.
Yes, come back.
And when you think about what's going on in other aspects of the community, specifically at Eastside Charter, where Ray is, where the STEM Hub, which is sponsored by Comores, is brand spanking new. I'm sure you have a steady stream of people wanting to see what's going on there. Would you like to talk about that a little bit?
So we, as a partner in this revitalization, as we grew into this model, this purpose-built model, you talked about cradle to college and beyond, or to the workforce. Eastside Charter is a vital partner in that regard. And as the East Side started looking at their mission and their focus, we thought, how can we expand our mission to be able to have a greater impact? And I talk to Dr. Bass all the time, and I said, in education, and not just here in Delaware, but in this country, if you don't do something radical, you're going to continue to get the same results. So this is a radical change when you talk about STEM education, and we've never done it before in the state. So as we went about these efforts and these endeavors, we were able to raise the money to be able to get this new STEM hub that will focus on increasing the academic abilities of our children. Their STEM hub, Apex students now are doing some amazing things. We have students getting accepted to private schools, getting full rides to some of the premier
That's
high schools
amazing.
in
That is-
Delaware.
That's amazing.
And now they haven't even had the opportunity to experience the STEM Hub for a whole year. So we're saying wait till it's on board longer. And we also have a workforce development initiative where we want to get people working not just in STEM industries, but in any industry, because if our parents are working, our children are going to do better in school.
Absolutely.
And lastly, the pandemic taught us that vital medical services were underserved. So we want to make sure they have those services, including mental health. So when you talk about all those wraparound services, if you're going to grow a community to 600 some houses, you have to have those services from
Yes.
infants all the way to
Yes.
the seniors.
Absolutely.
So outside of Imani Village, we're also looking at acquiring 40 acres up and
Sure.
down Governor Prince
Wow.
to be able to provide dentist office, doctor's offices, those vital
Supermarkets.
services,
Mhm.
supermarkets,
Yes.
that this food desert has been delinquent for so long. So we want to make sure that we're addressing all the needs. And Ms. Josie talked about the needs of the individual, the
Yeah.
families, the children, not leaving the seniors out, and certainly not leaving our teens out and the
Yes.
wonderful things they're doing over at the teen warehouse. So as we looked at this model and put it on the map of the purpose-built families in the communities, they're looking at it now to say, we need to do that.
Sure.
And we're
Yeah.
trying to make sure that we don't leave no stone unturned and making sure that we're just not providing new houses, but we're also providing those key
services.
critical services
That everyone
that our
needs.
families need. And that's
Yeah.
notwithstanding the wonderful things that are happening over at Eastside Charter. So we're looking to funnel a lot of the students that come from Imani Village and the Northeast into the STEM Hub in the afternoon and evenings after school. There's programming started now, and we'll be running through the summer, a number of
Yes.
camps that are going to be going, and we're looking to build our adult population and getting them the vital services that they need.
Love it.
Agreed.
I feel like we're part of big things. I mean, because we're not just doing something big on our own, it really is a collaborative.
Sure.
I'm really proud to be part of this very influential group of people who are really serious about the work
Yes.
and who are willing to do tough things and hard things and big things, because that's, like you said, where we're going to get the big reward. Thank you all for being here, and thanks for watching today. If you'd like to learn some more about Kingswood Community Center, we're at 2300 Bowers Street in Wilmington. That's on the east side, right smack dab in Riverside. You can reach us at 302-764-9022, or you can check us out on the internet at kgwcc.org. If you want to know more about Eastside Charter and the STEM Club, you can look them up as well. There are neighbors right down the street. Thank you guys all for being here. Thank you to Norman Oliver and
welcome.
Councilwoman Oliver for having us here on Community Crossfire, and we'll see you all soon, neighbors. Be well.
I'm mad. Got to get back. I need some get back.